Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching. Today we will make this gorgeous sweater crocheted lengthwise. We will crochet a very pretty pattern including the seams, the cuffs, and the bottom of the sweater, and you can add a turtleneck at the end if you like. I used 4 skeins of the puzzle yarn. The color is called Dominoes, and a 6mm or J10 hook. Here's a sizing chart for reference, but you can mix and match any of these measurements. Here are the measurements of my sweater, and it's okay that they're not all from the same size. If you want a small length for your sweater, chain 59, for medium 63, for large 67, and for extra large 71. I will chain 63 for medium length sweater. 61, 62, and I have my 63 chains. Let's start row 1. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we will skip 6 chains. The loop on the hook doesn't count. Let's count 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th chain we make a double crochet. Yarn over, count the 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th chain, into the top loop only, make a double crochet. Now we can go to the next top loop of the next chain and make a double crochet. And again double crochet into the top loop of the next chain. Double crochet until you have 2 more chains left. 1 and 2. Chain 1. Skip the second to last chain and double crochet into the last chain. And if you want to double check, the double crochet in the middle should be your beginning chain minus 4, so the ones on the edge don't count. Start with a cluster in the middle. I have 63 minus 4. I should have 59 doubles, so you should have an uneven number right here. Let's start row 2 with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3 for the double crochet, and then 1 more chain for the chain space. Turn your work over to the wrong side. Skip over the chain and make a double crochet into the next double. Chain 1, skip the next double and make a double. Chain 1, skip 1 and make a double. Chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet into the next double crochet. Let's finish row 2. Make a chain, skip a double, and then make your double crochet into the last double of the cluster. And now we have to make the edge. Chain 1, here's our double. Next to it is the small loop of the chain. Skip the chain and go through the bottom loop of the next chain. And make a double crochet into that chain. And let's start row 3. Chain 3 for a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 1 more for the chain space. Turn your work over to the right side and double crochet into the next double crochet. Double crochet into the chain space and into the next double. Repeat the pattern, double crochet into the chain spaces and into the double crochet. Let's finish the row. Double crochet into the chain space and into the double. Now let's make our edge again. Chain 1 and skip the next chain. For me that's a little loop. Then make a double crochet through the next chain, go into the bottom loop and make it a double, and we can start row 4. We can double check our work again. We have our edges, and then in the middle I have 59 doubles on this row, so the same amount that I had in the first row. And now we can start row 4, our last row of the pattern repeat. Chain 4, we always chain 4 to start. Turn your work over to the wrong side, and now we will work into the front loops of all of the doubles. So if you look, here's the front loop, and behind it is the back loop. We will only double crochet into the front loop. And you can do that for all of the double crochet. Grab only the front loop and make a double crochet. So let's take a look at the wrong side. And if you turn it over, you can see a nice little line on the right side. I'm making my 59th double crochet into the front loop. And now we can finish row 4. Chain 1. Skip the first chain. It's the small loop, go into the second chain and make a double crochet. And now we can start row 1 again of our 4-row pattern repeat. We always chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work over to the right side. If you remember, in row 1 we crocheted into our chains, but now we will crochet into our proper back loops of each of the double crochet. So here we have our double. Here's the front loop. When you turn it a little bit, here's the back loop. So we double crochet only into the back loop. And the next double, here's the front loop, behind it is the back loop, only crochet into the back loop. And we will have the same number of doubles as in row 1, 3, and 4. And as you can see, when you look on the right side, we will get that nice decorative line again. Finish row 1, I make my 59th double crochet into the last back loop of that double crochet. And now we can finish again with a chain of 1, skip the first chain, that small loop, go into the second chain and make the double crochet. Let's start row 2 again with a chain of 4. Turn your work over to the wrong side and now we make the double crochet into the first double. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double, so row 2 again. Chain 1, skip 1, and make a double. Let's finish row 2, chain 1, skip 1, and now it's a nice way to double check that last double crochet should go into the previous last double. Chain 1, skip the first chain, a little chain, go into the second chain, make a double, and we can start row 3 with a chain of 4. Turn your work over to the right side. And now we make the double into the double and into the chain space, into the double and into the chain space, and so on. Now you can make your doubles and I will make my 59. Finish round 3 with a double into the chain space and into the double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next chain, double crochet into the second chain. Now we can start row 4, but I like to double check my 59 doubles. I tend to make more mistakes in this row. Start the row with a chain of 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's our 4th row. Turn your work over to the wrong side and we will double crochet into all of the front loops again. And my yarn is playing tricks on me. It's striped now, so it's a little harder to see, but basically we're just repeating the rows now. Double crochet into all of the front loops. I have to make my 59 doubles. When you turn the work over to the right side, you see that line again, and again it's a little hard to see with my striped yarn. I switched my yarn so it's not so stripy and you guys can see the stitches better. I make my 59th double into the front loop. Now we can chain 1, skip the first chain, go into the second chain, make a double and start row 1 again. Chain 4, turn the work over to the right side and work into the back loops of all of the doubles. Front loop, back loop, work your doubles into all of the back loops. And if you look, we get that line again. We can finish row 1 with a double crochet into the back loop of the last double. Chain 1, skip the first chain, make a double into the second chain and start row 2 with a chain of 4. Turn your work over to the wrong side. Now we make a double into the first double. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double and repeat. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double. We can finish row 2 with a double crochet into the last double. chain 1, skip the first chain, make a double into the second chain and start row 3 with a chain of 4. And my yarn is striped again, I'm sorry about that, but I think we know pretty much what the pattern is. Now we can turn our work over to the right side again and double crochet into the first double and into the chain space and into the double and into the chain space and make the same amount of doubles that we had previously. I make my 59 doubles again. We can finish row 3 with a double crochet into the last double, chain 1, skip the first chain, make a double into the second chain and start row 4 with a chain of 4. And that's where we turn our work over to the wrong side and double crochet into all of the front loops. Finish row 4 with a double crochet into the front loop of the last double. Chain 1, skip the first chain, make a double into the second chain, and now you can start row 1 again with a chain of 4. So in row 1 we're on the right side and we double crochet into all of the back loops. In row 2 we're on the wrong side and we make double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. In row 3 we're on the right side and we double crochet into all of the doubles and into all of the chain spaces. And row 4 is on the wrong side where we double crochet into all of the front loops. And all of our rows are finished with a chain of 1, skip the first chain, double into the second chain and chain 4 to start the new row. I crocheted 31 rows and I reached my width of 21 inches. I repeated the 4 rows 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I made row 1, 2 and 3 to get my 21 inches for large. Please stop with row 3 so our pieces look symmetrical and we can continue and make our seams and our sleeves the same way. Crochet 2 identical panels and now we can make the seams on our sides. Place your pieces so the starting chain is in the lower right corner. Then put them on top of one another so the right sides face outward and the wrong sides face each other inside. I want the space for my upper arm to be 8 inches and you can pick the length that you like. I measured my 8 inches and then I counted 24 doubles starting where the solids are, so not the edge, just I started right there where the solid doubles started and I counted 24 doubles and I put my mark into the 24th double in the front and the 24th double in the back and on the other side the same way. And just be sure you count the same amount of doubles on each side and each piece. And we will start to crochet in the corner. So on top we have our chain start and the wrong sides face each other inside. I made a slip knot and put it on my hook. Now let's go into the first piece, into the double crochet. You see where those 2 legs go into that stitch, into that little hole. Make the single crochet. So the single crochet and the double crochet are in the same loop. Chain 1, grab the double crochet of the second piece, the first double, and make a single crochet into that. Chain 1, skip over the chain and make a single crochet into the second double, into the second piece and chain 1. Go back to the first piece, skip over the chain and where those 2 legs are of the double, right into that loop or into that stitch, make the single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and make a single crochet. Chain 1, go to the second piece. Now you see right here's the stitch, it's a little larger. Skip 1 and make a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1 in the first piece and make a single. Chain 1, skip 1, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1 on the second piece and make a single. Chain 1, skip 1, make a single. And again, chain 1, skip 1 in the first piece, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1 on the second piece, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1, make a single. Chain 1, skip 1 in the first piece, and make a single, and so on. So our pattern is single, chain 1, skip 1, single, chain 1, skip 1, single, chain 1, skip 1, single, and chain 1, and then we start with a single again. When you get close to the markers, make your last stitches, chain 1, skip 1, make a single, chain 1, skip 1, make a single, and right next to it is my marker. I don't crochet into the marker. Chain 1, then go to the second piece, skip 1, and I also single crochet my last single next to the marker, not into the marker, so I have an even amount of double crochet on each side. If your markers don't match up, you can check for mistakes. For example, I made 2 singles everywhere, but here I made only 1, so that caused my pattern to shift, and I have to fix that mistake. And then you can cut your yarn, pull it through the loop and sew in your loose end. And now you can repeat exactly the same stitches on the other side. Turn it around and start crocheting from the bottom up. We made the seams for the sides, now let's make the seams for the shoulders. So I got my 10-inch neck space. If you have 11 inches, just put your markers further apart. I counted 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I put my marker into the 9th space and I clip the front and the back together so I don't crochet where the markers are, just into the 8 spaces. On the other side, I counted 8 spaces and put the marker also into the 9th space. And I will crochet those 8 spaces together. We will start in the corner and work towards the neckline. Our 2 pieces are right side out, the wrong sides face each other inside, and I put a slip knot on my hook. Single crochet 1 into the corner space in the front, chain 1, single crochet 2 into the corner space in the back, 1 and 2, chain 1 and make a second single crochet in the first front space. Go to the next front space, make a single crochet, chain 1, go to the next back space and make 2 singles. Chain 1, make the second single into the same front space and single crochet into the next front space. Chain 1, go to the next back space and make 2 singles. Chain 1, single crochet the second single into the same front space and single crochet into the next front space. Chain 1 and single crochet 2 into the next back space. Chain 1, make the second single into the same front space, go to the next front space, single crochet 1, chain 1 and single crochet 2 into the next back space. Chain 1, make the second single into the same front space, single crochet into the next front space, chain 1 and single crochet 2 into the back space, the next back space. Chain 1, make the second single into the same front space, single crochet into the next front space, chain 1, single crochet 2 into the next back space. Chain 1, make the second single into the same front space and 1 single into the next front space, chain 1, single crochet 2 into the back space. And I'm getting close to my marker. 1 more chain and 1 more single crochet into the front space, and I will make 1 more chain and sew in the loose end. And here's our first seam, our first shoulder seam. Now we can make the same seam on the other shoulder. Start next to the marker in the front space, make 1 single crochet. Chain 1, go next to the marker into the back and make 2 singles. Chain 1, make the second single into the first space. Go to the next space, make a single, chain 1 and make 2 singles in the next empty space in the back. Chain 1, make the second single in the front, go to the next space and make a single and chain 1. And now you can repeat that pattern until you get to the edge. Let's finish the seam. I made 2 single crochet in the back, chain 1 and make the second single crochet into the front space and then into the corner space. Chain 1, go into the last space, the corner space, make 2 singles around the corner space, chain 1 and make your second single crochet into the front space. Then you can chain 1 and sew in your loose end. Now let's make our sleeves, and we will start with round 1. Here's our sleeve hole, and that's the seam on the side. Everything is right side up. I made a slip knot on my hook again. Now go into the seam right around the chain and make 2 doubles around the chain. 1 and 2. Now you can turn your work, and if you look, these double crochet on that side are upside down, but we still work them so they look just like the other ones, and we can see that little line. Here's my last double crochet, or my last stitch that I made for the seam, and I go into the next double crochet, but only into the top loop. Yarn over, then go from the back to the front only around the top loop. As you can see below, we have another piece of yarn. That's what we want to make the double crochet around. So I pull that to the back and I make my double crochet around that little piece of yarn. And now if you look, we have a nice line here. Let's do it again. Yarn over, go around the top loop from the back to the front and pull that little loop through the back so you can make the double crochet around it. Double crochet around that little piece of yarn. One more time, grab that loop on top. If I can get it, it's a little bit tricky, but remember we only have to do this one time until we get all of these doubles on this one side done, and then we don't have to do that again. Pull that little loop through to the back and make a double crochet. And you still can make that stitch if you hold your hook like this. So if you crochet like that, you can do that as well. Go around that loop, pull that other piece of yarn through, and make a double crochet into it. Oh, this is very difficult for me to do, but you see it's possible. Make those double crochet until you get to the shoulder seam. And now here I can double check myself again and make sure that each of the double crochet is crocheted into the one below. And let's get to the shoulder. We have 3 spaces. Make 2 doubles into each of the 3 spaces, so around the entire chain. Make 2 doubles around the first chain and 2 doubles around the second chain. Go around the entire chain and make 2 doubles, 1 and 2, and then we have 1 more chain space and go around the chain again and make 2 doubles around it, 1 and 2. And now on this side it's really easy. We double crochet into all of the back loops of the previous doubles. And you can do that until you get to the end of the round. And we should have an even amount of double crochet all the way around. Let's make the last double crochet into the back loop. If you look, the next stitch belongs to the seam. Then slip stitch into the double crochet and we can start round 2. We always start with a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then double crochet into the back loop. We want to keep the same look as with our 2 pieces. Now we will make our first decrease and double crochet the next 2 together. Yarn over, go into the back loop of the next double and then into the back loop of the next double. We have 4 loops, pull through 3 loops and then through 2, and we double crochet those 2 doubles together through the back loop. Now we can double crochet into the back loops of all the previous doubles. Double crochet all around into the back loops, and at the end we will double crochet the last 2 together and decrease again. At the end of the round we can double crochet the last 2 doubles together. Yarn over, go into the back loop of the second to last double, pull a loop, go into the last double, back loop only, and pull a loop. Pull through 3 loops and then through 2, and we double crochet the last 2 doubles together. Let's finish the round with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and we can start round 3. Chain 3 for the double and then 1 more chain for the chain space. Skip over the second double and double crochet into the double that we previously double crocheted together. And now you already know this pattern. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double, and you can do that all the way around. Let's finish round 3. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double, chain 1, skip the last double, slip stitch into the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, and we can start round 4. Chain 3 for the double, and you already know this pattern too. Make a double into the chain space and into the double, into the chain space, and repeat double crochet into all of the doubles and into all of the chain spaces. We can finish round 4 with a double crochet into the chain space and a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and we can start round 1 again. Round 1 is a decreasing round. Chain 3 for the double and make a double into the back loop of the next double. And now let's double crochet the next 2 together. Yarn over, go into the back loop of the next double and into the back loop of the next double. Pull through 3 and through 2, and then double crochet into all of the back loops of the previous doubles. Finish round 1 and let's double crochet the last 2 doubles together through the back loop, yarn over and double crochet those last 2 doubles together, go into the back loop, pull through 3 and through 2 loops, and just make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and we can start round 2, and it's also a decreasing round. Chain 3 for the double crochet and double crochet into the back loop of the next double, and then again double crochet the next 2 doubles together. The first one is through the back loop of the double crochet that we previously double crocheted together, and then go into the next back loop, pull through 3 loops and through 2, and then you can make those doubles into the back loops, and we will double crochet the last 2 doubles together again. Let's finish round 2 and double crochet the last 2 doubles together through the back loop, 1 and 2, pull through 3 and through 2, and we can make a slip stitch again into the 3rd chain and start round 3. Chain 3 for the double, and then 1 more chain for the chain space. Skip the 2nd double and make the double. We always make it where the doubles are that we previously double crocheted together, and repeat. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double, chain 1, skip 1, and make a double crochet all the way around. And we can finish round 3. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double, chain 1, skip the last double and slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and we can start round 4. Chain 3, then double crochet into all of the chain spaces and into all of the double crochet. We can finish round 4 with a double crochet into the last chain space and a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and start round 1 again, which is a decreasing round. We always start with a chain of 3 and a double crochet into the back loop of the next double. Let's double crochet the next 2 together. Remember to go into the back loop and into the back loop, double crochet those 2 together, and now double crochet into all of the back loops again. We can double crochet our last 2 doubles together through the back loop and finish the round with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain and start round 2, which is a decreasing round. Chain 3 and double crochet into the back loop of the next double, and then we can double crochet the next 2 together. The first one is the one we previously double crocheted together through the back loop, and then the next one through the back loop. Double crochet those 2 together, and now you can double crochet into all of the back loops. Finish the round and double crochet the last 2 together through the back loop. Make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain and start round 3 with a chain of 4. Skip the next double and double crochet into the double that we previously double crocheted together. Then chain 1, skip 1, make a double, chain 1, skip 1, and make a double. Finish round 3 with a double crochet, chain 1, and skip the last double. That's the one we double crocheted together. Slip stitch into the 3rd chain and start round 4 with a chain of 3. Then double crochet into all of the chain spaces and into all of the doubles. And you can finish the round with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain and start round 1 again. Round 1 and 2 are the decreasing rounds, crochet into the back loops. Round 3 is the double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and round 4 we crochet into all of the doubles and into all of the chain spaces. I repeated the 4 rounds 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can make the sleeves longer or shorter, but please stop with a round where we have the solid double crochet so we can add the border at the end with the front post and back post double crochet. I left my sleeve a little short, and you can stop at any of the double crochet rounds. We can finish our round with a slip stitch. Go from the back to the front around a chain of 3 and pull the slip stitch through. Chain 2 and make a front post double around a chain of 3. Go from the front to the back and from the back to the front around the entire post and make the front post double. So when you look, you have the front post double in front of the chain of 2. Go to the next double. Now this time from the back to the front and from the front to the back around the entire post and make a back post double. Let's repeat. Let's make the front post double. Front to the back to the front around the next post. We have the front post double, and now let's make a back post double again. Back to the front to the back around the entire post, and we have a back post double. Alternate between front post double and back post double. The last stitch of the round should be a back post double crochet. Now we can finish the round with a slip stitch. Go in between the chain of 2 and the front post double and pull your slip stitch through. And we can start the new round again with a chain of 2 and a front post double around the previous front post double. Go in between the chain and the front post again. Make a front post double, and then around the back post double, our next stitch, make the back post double, back to the front, front to the back around the entire post, make the back post double. So we alternate in between front post and back post double. The next stitch is a front post double, make a front post double around it. The next stitch is a back post double, make the back post double around that. Alternate, front post double, and back post double. And we can finish this round again with a back post double crochet, a slip stitch in between the chain and the front post double, starting a round with a chain of 2 and a front post around the previous front post. Then where we made the back post doubles, make the back post double, and where we made the front post double, make the front post double. So we're alternating again. I made 7 rounds to get my length, and you can add more or less, and you can finish with a slip stitch into the front post double crochet, make a chain and sew in your loose end and make the other sleeve. Now we can add the same pattern around the bottom of the sweater until we like our length. The sweater's right side out and I put a slip knot on my hook. You can start in any of the spaces and double crochet 2 around each of the posts, 1 and 2. Go to the next space and double crochet 2 around the post, 1 and 2. And here's the seam. We have a big space here. We make 2 doubles into the big space. Now here we have a smaller space. I only make 1 double crochet into that. That's where the seam is. Just remember to make only 1 double crochet on the other side as well, so we have an even amount of double crochet all the way around. So all of the other spaces get 2 double crochet except that one little space where the seam is, and make sure we get an even amount of double crochet all the way around. So on the other side again I made 1 double into that small space and everywhere else 2 doubles. Finish with 2 double crochet into the last space, make a slip stitch around that double crochet so we're making the same round as on the sleeve, chain 2. Make the front post around the double and then alternate between back post double and front post double crochet. So we're repeating exactly the same rounds that we did on the sleeve. I made 8 rounds, but you can add more or less. Now let's make the turtleneck. You can start in any of the spaces again and make 2 double crochet into each space. Now here where the seam is, I only made 1 double crochet in each of the spaces so we can pull our neckline together a little bit. Double crochet all the way around and then you could leave it like that or make a turtleneck with the front post back post pattern. I added 17 rounds. Now our sweater is done. I hope you like it and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.